this hand would be pretty good if we just had one more spell. I think I'm gonna send it back on 7. Do we keep this on the draw? I kind of don't mind keeping this on the draw. I'll just try to draw one land. I would probably mull this if it were 7. You see that blue-white Stoneblade won the challenge? I didn't look super closely at the list. I thought it was just mono-white. Yeah. After the last league, we were sideboarding into Sentinels like every game, so now we're just trying them in the main deck. They had Mage and Queller. Okay, let me take a look. I did skim these. Alright, land. Let's go. Hell yeah. I think I'm getting Kaldra, right? Seems like a Kaldra choice. So their deck is interesting. So it's a blue-white ephemerate deck. The Marius Call. But it's barely blue. I see. Cool deck. Awesome. 4 Solitude. Love it. Yorion. Cool list. Has Kaldra been on the battlefield? Not today, but we played this deck last week and liked it. Let's force this. I think we pitched Snapcaster. Stoneforge Mystic backed up by Force. Tale as old as time. So, I wonder if I'm supposed to try to play around another Teferi Time Raveler by holding on Counterspell / Stoneforge activation. What are the updates today? You can check the deck list in Stream Decker. But the main thing is we're main decking 4 Esper Sentinels. And to kind of make that work, I'm not main decking any Fatal Pushes. The Black Splash has become like a lot lighter. Boshin, thank you for your 14 months. Appreciate you, buddy. What's the idea behind 3 Sideboard Vindicates? The Vindicates are mostly for the... I think I'm going to counter this. The Vindicates are mostly for big mana matchups. But you can also... It's also really nice that you can bring them in any time. Where do I find those lists? The challenge lists? Let's see. Usually I'd recommend following Bamzing on Twitter for them. I think maybe I should let this one go. Only have one counterspell left. Could Prismatic Ending this at some point. Has the convert spell been performing better than expected? It's been good. It's been about as good as I've expected. It's like one nice thing with this is a good removal spell against creature decks usually, although not against every creature deck. But it's also like surprisingly live against like big mana and combo, where like I've been exiling Pinted Prisms and Rin and 6 and Expedition Map, Chalice of the Void, Amulet of Vigor, Shriekhorn I've exiled once. So a lot of stuff like that. Alright, bummer. I'm also only playing islands to facilitate the very counterspell heavy mana here. Let's go ahead and Prismatic Ending this Dryad. And then the Black Splash also, of course, makes Ending better. I think you want to at least be able to do it for 3. Hey, Emma. Alright, so let's take a draw step. Pretty close to just equipping the Kaldra on the Stoneforge Mystic. My opponent's, has 4 spells in their hand, though. Very possible that one of them is another Path to Exile. But if we equip next turn, it is a 2-turn clock. Alright, I'm just going to Prismatic Ending this. I think my opponent has another Path. It's a read I've got here. It's just a feeling I've got. Like I'm about to get Path to Exiled. I mean, I could equip the Kaldra here. I think that's fine. They're missing lands. I think I'm just gonna make them use their Path if they have one, and if not, they're dead at next turn. It's a Bolt. Okay, that's worse, but close to the same thing, I guess. Letting them resolve Omnath, less good. I think we probably have Prismatic Ending here this turn. Just hold up Counterspell, and then untap in Jace. Maybe try to find a path for Omnath. Red, black. I don't know what this is. I think it's Bring to Light and they mistapped. Has Ending been good? Being a sorcery upsets me. Yeah, it's been very good. Like, I talked about this a bit, where it's like a good removal spell in creature matchups, especially a white removal spell that gets, you know, doesn't give them a land on turn 1. But it's also, like, really nice to be, not dead against decks where removal spells are usually dead, where you can get Expedition Map, Amulet of Vigor, Shriek Horn, Pintad Prism, cards like that, which I found to be pretty cool. Any favorite cards from MH2? I don't know if I don't think I have a favorite yet, but I've liked a lot of them. Counterspell plus Path would be the nuts. Dakkon's acceptable. How do I want the Stoneforge Mystic, or do I want to shuffle? I don't hate Stoneforge. I think I'm gonna shuffle though. Probably. Oh, maybe I shouldn't. I guess I'm shuffling. But I could have just left the Stoneforge on top and maybe thought about drawing it. Yeah, I've been really impressed by Dakkon in this deck. I've been really liking Dakkon. So much loyalty. We could die here to Scape Shift. Looks like they've got something. Maybe this is just another Omnath. Yeah, Scape Shift. Bummer. Yeah, I know Stoneforge shuffles as well, but I just really wanted to dig for a counterspell the following turn. So with the Teferis, these shut off the Bring to Lights. I feel like I might just like the Vindicates could maybe just be better than any of the other removal spells here. They just obviously capture everything. Subtlety could be good as well. Don't mind Subtlety in this matchup. Might not be a good Dakkon matchup. Not so many creatures. We could play Subtlety over Dakkon, and then we could choose to either. I might play the sort of Fire Ice over the Batterskull here too. It's usually what I would do in a matchup like this. I'm a little bit more worried about Path. Could maybe want the Shark Typhoons too. Could be possible that Shark Typhoon is better than Jace the Mind Sculptor in this matchup, because it might be kind of hard to tap out for Jace. What do I think of the Grixis Walker? I like it. But I don't think it's good enough to make me, you know, to make Grixis good by itself, but we'll try it out at some point. Does Subtlety also hit permanents or only interacts with the stack? Only interacts with the stack. Deck is essentially a Vindicate that smooths out your draws. Well, it only hits creatures, which is a big difference from Vindicate, but yeah. Yep. It's a card I like a lot. I guess we're going to Stoneforge. Do I want to get Sword of Feast and Famine? I think I'm just getting Kaldra. Kaldra means that they can't really Wrenn and 6 me here. And also, I'm thrilled to have this happen too. That's great for us. And then Dakkon also lets you put your Kaldra into play, because like that is a big issue with Kaldra, of course, is that sometimes it's awkward because it's a 7-mana artifact. But Dakkon can, you know, you get to use the ultimate, and then which is, you know, also a hard part for some Esper decks. Some Esper decks might not be able to use the ultimate. Well, Net, thank you for your 9-month resubscription. But it has a counterspell, it seems. Negates, sure. Yeah, I think things are better today. I've upgraded to a 5G hotspot plan, and looks like that's going to be hopefully a good solution for our problem. About 2 SIM cards in case I run out of data, so we should be good. My opponent missed a land drop, right? Yeah, they only had 1 land. I think I'm just going to Vindicate their Steam Vents. So I'm using my phone. I bought a 5G hotspot, like specifically just for the internet. I'm also not using Wi-Fi. I have it USB tethered, so that should make the connection pretty stable too. I'm very, very optimistic that this is going to solve our issues. I could maybe have drawn a card trying to find a land for Counterspell. I think I like plussing though. Probably play Dryad here. See, yeah, I don't think that they would have a land, and they don't. So let's go minus and then snap Vindicate. Don't think Stoneforge Mystic makes me not want to snap Vindicate. And also everybody in chat wants to see the snap Vindicate, of course. Let's not kid ourselves. Yeah, they get their Dryad back. That's okay. Alright, let's get the Feasted Famine, I think. Just let Teferi take 2. Yeah, I really like this deck too. I think this is the deck I'm going to be doing my first Channel Fireball video on. But I wanted to just like to stream a bit more and you know, talk to you guys about the deck, try to hammer it out a bit. They're pathing. This path just doesn't do much. I just cast the Feast and Famine. I mean, when has Path Exile ever done anything, I guess? Well, I've got the card in my deck too. No, actually, it looks like the 5G plan. The 5G plan is cheaper than what I pay at internet right now. I pay for Spectrum's like highest tier of service, and I get like just it's like not functional at all. But I pay for their best plan, so this is even going to be cheaper. It's not cheap, but it's cheaper. I wish I'd done something for combo this set. Have you not seen the cow hollow one decks? Those decks look great. I mean, I would probably view those as combo. They feel pretty combo-y to me. I think I like our sideboard plan here. I really want to go turn 1 Esper Sentinel, though. Yeah, that deck is scary. But Esper Sentinel also is like pretty good on the play against that deck, I think. Oh, this hand's great. Can you write off intercost as a business expense? Yeah, but it's not like you just get all the money back for business expenses. But yeah, I'm going to write it off for sure. It's absolutely what it is, business expense. So if they play, okay, so this is just Explore. But I was going to say, if they play Red and 6, we could try to kill it with Kaldra. No third land just yet. Hopefully they path this. They pathed it last game and it was just so good for me. Path. Aw. I mean, they might path it on their turn. If I force, I think I'm pitching Typhoon. Path. I mean, maybe they're just gonna. Maybe they should probably path the Kaldra, if anything, right? Oh, it didn't draw the land. Yeah, I'm just gonna main phase the Kaldra here, so I don't have to go to discard. They are representing a counterspell, and if this gets pathed, you know, we do pretty desperately need the land. It is kind of bad for us if they have an Omnath, but if they have a something we could force, it's good. And if, you know, they just don't have, if they just take the hit, they're, you know, dead in a couple turns. Like if they just cast something we can force, we attack them, we force it, attack for 6, and just hold up counterspell the next turn. Watch the Gap, 2 months. Thanks for your reset, buddy. Appreciate the support. Looks like a Bring to Light. I think I'm gonna pitch the Cryptic now. Definitely want to make sure they can't get their verdict. Let's go! Those are like a pretty aggressive concession, but deck looking good. The more and more I play these fair decks in Modern, the more I realize just having some flexible sideboard cards it's incredibly valuable because there's such a wide spread of decks in Modern that having access to something that you can board out in any board in an indie matchup, even if it's not going to be the best card or even if it's not going to be super impactful, if you have like dead Force of Negations, or if you have, you know, dead removal spells, just something that you can always bring in and it's not going to be a dead card, is nice because of just how big this matchup spreads are, of course. Have you seen the interaction of Urza Saga and Blood Moon? No. How does that work? Eternal Witness, Coco, Imri? I don't think I'm going to path Imri there. Imri is probably terrible in their deck if they're playing Witness and Coco. Right? I don't know. I don't know if that logic tracks, but I just have a hard time imagining their Imri is like that good if they're playing Witness and Coco. I'm just going to get Kaldra. What about burn deck swapping white out for black with Flame Rift? You can easily turbo. I don't know. I mean, the metagame doesn't seem that aggressive at the moment, but like Flame Rift is way better in Legacy, where the burn deck is way more aggressive than their opponent all of the time. In Modern, there's a ton of aggro decks where Flame Rift is a huge liability. And your mana is also more painful in Modern than in Legacy too, because you have shock lands and not dual lands. So I feel like Flame Rift is better in Legacy than it is in Modern. And I don't think that it's like, especially when the idea of swapping burn from Boros to Rakdos for Flame Rift, Boros Charm is a lot better than Flame Rift, and so like that swap doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Oh, so they're probably a Gingerbread Cabin deck here with Academy Manufacturer. Oh, I was worried they'd have another Goose. Alright, I'm gonna call it. Oh, that doesn't cost 2 mana. Yeah, I think Flame Rift is interesting with Scourge of the Skyclaves. I agree. That seems like the place to try it in my mind. I bought a 5G hotspot. I'm not on my phone anymore. Thank goodness, because I wasn't able to listen to music when I was streaming from my phone. That always keeps me like really focused and energized. But I bought a dedicated 5G hotspot. It should fit my needs, and it should, you know, be way more consistent than Spectrum's terrible, unusable service. Oh, I missed that they milled a cabin. But yeah, I've been messing around with a few Academy Manufacturer Urza lists. I feel like I got an okay draft together, but it's not quite ready. But I think I figured out at least the mana base that I'm working on. Sorry, I was on Spectrum's internet and my internet crashed. And I remember I had to redo the Esper list because it didn't save. I guess it didn't save the Urza list too. But the mana base looks like 4 Expedition Map, 1 Yavimaya, 4 Urza Saga, and then like the Gingerbread Cabin mana base. And then your Expedition Maps like can get value Urza Sagas or find your 1 Expedition Map to make your cabins good. Is the idea there. All right, another Academy Manufacturer. It's pretty good. Let's hold up the Cryptic. I've been incredibly impressed with damage out of the sideboard. When you want to sideboard out Esper Sentinel. That's interesting. I mean, I kind of Vindicate as like a similar card, I guess, but I'm really trying to stay away from double black or double white cards with this mana base. And of course, that's both, you know. So I think I'm gonna counter draw here. Could get got by like land Urza though. I mean, how bad is it for us if they're just able to make a lot of tokens? Probably pretty bad. I'll counter draw. Is Sentinel good at all? Yeah, I think Sentinel's really good. So we played this deck on Thursday, and we only got through like 7 matches because my internet was really struggling. We only got through like 7 matches, but I think that we learned that Esper Sentinel was so good because I cited it in like 4 out of my 5 matchups. I brought it in. I had it in the sideboard at first, and I think that it'll be really good. And it is a card you're going to side out against some decks. Like we might side it out against our opponent, but I think it's a card you want in the main deck. What are my thoughts on Enchantress in Modern? I'm not sure that it's competitive. I'd like to see a really good list, you know, but I feel like I haven't seen a list that I like yet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're just, you know, gonna put in the Batterskull here. Notably, Seachrome Coast entering tapped means next turn we can't go. Stoneforge Mystic for Feast and Famine, activate Stoneforge Mystic for equip, unless we draw a land. They consider any of the tri-lands for converge value. I think that is not worth it to play a Triumph in your deck just for the offside chance of converging for 4. I do think if you play Prismatic Ending, you probably want to be able to do it for at least X equals 3. I'm not sure that in like blue-white it's worth playing a Triumph, but maybe it is. Hey Evan, how you doing? Let's go. Okay. So my opponent's playing Academy Manufacturer, Urza deck, so probably not a good Esper Sentinel matchup. Subtlety could be good. Could be, you know, still Subtlety and just not a playable card. Evan, 24 months, made it to 2 years. Hell yeah, dude. That's like the second or third 2-year one I've seen. But very cool. Very exclusive club. So Rest in Peace deals with Imri. We also saw Eternal Witness. I think Kaldra's worth playing in Tron. I think that one as a card in the Great Creator target is probably worth it, yeah. Well, if we bring in Rip, we also turn off our Snapcasters, but maybe we should bring it in. Yeah, I don't know exactly what my opponent's list looks like. I think I'm going to slide out the Batterskull for the Fire Ice. Again, you're going to see me cut either Kaldra or Batterskull for a sword in a lot of matchups, I think. I feel like I think we probably just want the 3rd and 4th path and maybe just like 2 Vindicates. I kind of like this like more conservative sideboard plan. Oh, let's you cut the forces for the subtleties because they're mostly creature deck. But just kind of like a more generic sideboard plan when we don't really know exactly what's going on makes some sense to me, right? What upgrades are you adding to Squirrel Blade besides Kaldra? I'm trying to figure out if that deck wants to play Shardless Agent or not. At the time of making this comment, I think probably not. That's something I'm trying to figure out. Lately, you've been moving away from Path to Exile. Why do you seem to go here? A couple different reasons. Like, one, Counterspell makes Path to Exile better because you don't have this awkward tension between Mana Leak and Counterspell giving them extra mana to pay for your Mana Leak. 2, there's also the Hollow One deck I'm kind of scared of. The Hollow One Vengevine deck where they're bringing back Feasting Troll King and, you know, there's also Kaldra, which you want to exile with Path to Exile. I think there's a decent amount of... Oh, Cookbook. I feel that there's a decent amount of decks that Path to Exile is the best removal spell at the moment, but it's also, of course, hard to predict the metagame. Opponent, no second land. Wow. If Shardless Agent, do you play Visions? No, you don't. But if you were to play Visions, it would be better to play See the Truth instead, which is like the same to cascade into and like a much better top deck. But I would honestly just not recommend playing either. I think I'm getting I kind of want to get a sword here because next turn I want to hold up the Stoneforge activation. Yeah, the Mugak deck. Yeah, that's the deck I'm talking about. Also, kind of wanting Path 4. That deck looks very good. That deck looks very good. All right, 2-0. Do not think that you want to put Solitude in your deck unless you also have Ephemerate. Okay, let's keep this. Kind of an interesting choice if we put back a land or if we put back Batterskull. I think I'll keep the Batterskull in hand because we have Dakkon to put it into play. What kind of decks is Ragavan good in? Most red decks should consider playing it, I think. We played a blue-red Murktide Regent, kind of Delver style Ragavan deck the other day, and that felt good. And I'm gonna try it in Jund tomorrow, and I think it's good in mono red Obosh Prowess for sure. I think it might be worth it to have a Steam Vents in the deck. No, I do not. I think that the downside of paying 2 life to Steam Vents or making your mana worse with Steam Vents is not worth being able to converge for 4. Converging for 4 is relevant, but it's not that relevant. So my opponent could have Snapcaster Mage here. I could wait on the Dakkon. But if they have Counterspell and they Counterspell this, we get to draw a card, and then we get to attack as well. So I think playing this is good. Coco Lopez Esper Blade. Is that the list from the challenge? Because I think we played against it. Yeah, I think that they just didn't want to counter because of the Sentinel, maybe. Should I keep this Prismatic Ending? I'm going to graveyard the Path. What is my opponent playing? Breeding Pool, Spire, Bluff Canal. I'm going to keep the Ending. This could answer like Rin and 6, Clothis. It's a very Time Raveler if they're 4-color. Oh, they're probably the Shardless Agent Violent Outburst deck, actually. And in which case the ending is probably good too, because we get to just go Exile Rhino minus Exile Rhino. Ooh, 1 damage to the Dakkon means that if we minus on the Rhino, we lose the Dakkon. So they do have Shardless Agent, it looks like. We played this deck in the challenge yesterday. I wrote about it for Channel Fireball too. It's a deck I like. Seems like they're playing a bit of a different version with main deck Dakkon. Pretty sure that we're just supposed to go Exile a Rhino minus Exile a Rhino. Pass. This is the Blood Moon version. It's not. They're playing Cryptic Command. Is it just better than Living In? Well, it's not just better. There's differences between the deck, but you know what's nice is that you don't have to play a bunch of cyclers. You get to play good interactive cards instead, or more good interactive cards. So I should probably be playing around Violent Outburst, right? I know this isn't like a great exchange, the counter draw, but I think we probably should just make them have another Rhinos. And if they do, we can maybe go like Batterskull. Now we can go like Esper Sentinel equip Batterskull, which is like pretty good against the Rhinos. Yeah. But, yeah. Oh, sorry. We can't go Batterskull plus land next turn. Sure, we can, but we can't go Batterskull plus Counterspell. That's what I meant to say. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get another Hallowed Fountain again because our black splash is so light here. Big draw step. Okay, that at least lets us go Esper Sentinel plus equip next turn. I was hoping to be able to play the Sentinel first, but if they have Brazen Borrower, do we just lose? Or Ice? I mean, we're not just dead on board. I mean, Ice is way better for us because we get to attack. We die to any burn spell. Yeah. Bummer. Is he Magus top 8 with Urza Saga blue-white? I didn't see that. I saw a list variation, a variation of the list, but I didn't see Magus's actual list. But that is cool. Pretty sure we're dead here. Pretty sure we're dead. Their draw was very good this game. Alright, so we want the Teferis for sure. I think that this is... maybe Fire Ice is probably better than Feast and Famine in this matchup. Prismatic Ending answers 1 Rhino, which is not a great exchange. I thought I was going to 1 if they attacked. I was at 11, they had 10 power, right? Whatever, we're here now. Matchup's probably kind of tough. Although Esper Sentinel's probably great. You flash in the bar, then avoid the lifelinker. Did they have the 3 mana? They didn't have 3 mana. They only had the 2 mana when they bounced the Germ token there. This hand's great. Let's keep. 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 This hand's great. Might Ragavan be better than Dakkon and Vindicate in this deck? Maybe. That is on my to-do list. Jeskai Stoneblade with Ragavan. You also get a Triumph, of course, which is really a big deal. So I'm probably getting Kaldra. Kaldra is, of course... Oh, what a great draw. Kaldra just being a 5/5 just beats up on the Rhinos pretty well. If I try the Domain Zoo, yeah, I have kind of a different take on it with no 1-drops. Just always kind of want to go Triumph into Shockland is my idea. And I went 4-1 with it yesterday. I played only 4 matches on stream because the challenge was over at that point. But I finished it off stream and I did end up going 4-1. So pretty sure we're supposed to jam Teferi, just make them have Force of Negation and blue card and, you know, get our 2-for-1. The Giant Hobbit, thank you for your 4-month 3 subscription, buddy. Appreciate you. They have a Domain Zoo list. It might... I guess it's probably actually not in the Stream Decker. Oh, right. Sideboard game. Mystical Dispute. A few Vial Texas lists have been swapping out Vials for Sentinel because you can't play on both turn 1. But you can just Vial into Sentinel the next turn. I mean, Sentinel is a very good turn 1 play, but I don't necessarily believe that the 2 cards have tension. It might be a little more pronounced than I might think. They have a second dispute. They don't. Alright, I think it's Kaldra time. Maybe it should have just been Kaldra time last turn. I think Jeskai's awkward, a lot of 4 toughness creatures. Yeah, maybe. But you also don't have to lean in on Bolt necessarily. Has Dakkon been good? Yeah, Dakkon's been really good. I've been really impressed with Dakkon over 9,000. I think it's like good enough to like splash black in this deck. Especially like when like the biggest weakness of Kaldra is, you know, they kill your Stoneforge Mystic and your Kaldra stranded in your hand. Dakkon gives you a way to unstrand it pretty easily, or relatively easily, somewhat easily. Yeah, Archon of Emeria does stop Cascade. Prismatic Command, kill Stoneforge Mystic, make a treasure token. It's interesting. I'd love to get Esper Sentinel down, but don't quite have enough mana. Have I gotten to test a new Grixis Corruption Planeswalker? No, not yet. I do plan to, though. I feel like Bolt Helix is the biggest reason to be Jeskai. Well, what I'm talking about is Jeskai Stoneblade with specifically Ragavan, which is on my to-do list of things to try. Like, Ragavan seems very good in a Stoneblade list. And so... yeah, you probably will still play some Bolts and Helixes, but you still have access to the other white removal, and I kind of feel like white removal might be the best at the moment. Oh, they have Cryptic. Jeez. I've liked Prismatic Ending, yeah. I think it's a good card. Kind of glad they bounced this to my hand, not the Germ, though. Pretty sure I'm supposed to play Esper Sentinel and then sort of Fire Ice, because this presents a lethal attacker next turn. Dredge Cow, that deck's good. I think they're calling it Mugak for now, is the name of the deck. At least that's what I like, Mugak. I think the deck's good. I haven't played against it yet. I have watched Dubake play it some. I think it's got some bad matchups, but it seems like it probably like is very, very good against fair decks. Would be my impression of it. They've got something. Maybe we can top deck a Counterspell. Flooded Strand. Well, don't really have too many other options besides Equip. Why Cow? There's a card from I think Throne of Eldraine that's whenever you discard it, it's a cow. Whenever you discard it, oh, they get to play the Borrower too. Jeez. So we can Prismatic Ending this. I don't have a basic planes to get, though. So Ending. Fetch Shock, takes 7, we're dead. Alright. Tough stuff. Playing against Gigantha, so Tron probably. Prismatic Ending does deal with Expedition Map, but I'm going to mulligan. Have to keep this. Let's put back Watery Grave or Delta. Esper Sentinel can be good against Tron. Better on the play, though. We're on the draw. Yeah, Asmo seems really good. So they're not Tron, but they did mold to 5, and they did reveal Gigantha. So this could be the Domain Zoo deck that I was playing yesterday. Or something similar to it. Kind of, that's my guess right now. So Stoneforge Mystic, I mean, I guess if they have Draco, Sign of Draco, we might be in bad shape. If they have Sign of Draco, we probably get Batterskull. If they have the Kavu, we probably get Kaldra. Yeah, I don't know if... It looks like they're playing my list that I posted yesterday. At least it looks like my mana base, and I was playing this too, of course. Alright. No! Oh, sorry. I even was thinking about not doing that. I was thinking about not doing that on my last turn. Alright, well, maybe we just threw the game away. Golly. Thanks, Austin. Feel free to unfollow right now and leave. Prismatic Ending pretty bad against this deck. Ooh. Joseph Brewer, thank you for your 3-month resubscription. If you'd like to refund that based on my abysmal sequencing, please let me know. I think I'm gonna get Feast and Famine here, and then next turn we can go equip Feast and Famine onto Esper Sentinel, and then play Dakkon minus on Sign of Draco. Sometimes, I don't know, my brain, sometimes it's like, I'll specifically think, do not play the Drowned Catacomb on turn 2, and then a moment will pass, and then I just, because I feel like because I was thinking don't do it, I do it. Does that make sense? Don't do it. Please don't do it. Say Bloodbraid Elf. It looks like they're playing the Domain Zoo list I posted yesterday, or was playing yesterday. Ooh, we get to draw a card off Tribal Flames. And then force pitching Charm. And then, once we equip Feast and Famine onto Esper Sentinel, they have to pay 3. The full... I don't know if you are joking, but the full name of the Asmo card is... It's like Asmo Ubud Duber Dindakar or something. You know. Something ridiculously long like that. It's... You know, a bit of a joke name. Not very streamer friendly. Let's hold up the Cryptic Command this turn, I think. Discard Sacred Foundry. I mean, if you can say it out loud, I think you deserve to be smug about it. A deck tech for Pineapple Major. Yeah, the deck techs are back up now that I'm using the 5G hotspot. My internet should be able to handle it. Lurrus Domain. Interesting. So it's my opinion that Draco, Sign of Draco, is good enough that you're going to want to play Sign of Draco over Lurrus as a companion. That being said, Lurrus is, of course, very good. And I also like the general that I put this deck. I mean, they're playing the deck I was playing yesterday. You can find it on my Twitter if you scroll down a little bit. They hit Manamorphose. Are they going to cast it? They do. We draw a second card this game off Esper Sentinel. I would probably play Ragavan. I would play like 3 Ragavans, maybe definitely cutting the Bobs, maybe cutting some number of Nakaddles, Snapcaster Mage also doesn't feel like a great fit for this deck. Like, you only have 11 targets for it, which is, you know, about fine, but maybe just want to play 1, maybe 0. I get that Snapcasting back Tribal Flames is pretty good. Alright, they kill my Sentinel. We do get to go... So we need to play this to double path. We can go... Dakkon, 5 Loyalty, Exile Sign of Draco. Equip, hit my opponents, and have double path up. But Temur Ascendancy in the domain deck with Roderick. Yeah, I think Temur Ascendancy is interesting. It's a bit win more though. It's also a consideration for the Temur Cascade deck. Hey Atashi, how you doing? Is Lurrus no longer the best card in Modern? Is it Charlotte's Agent now? It's not Charlotte's Agent, I don't think. But like they did print a lot of like really good reasons to not put Lurrus in your deck, which is something that Modern needed. How's New Modern been? It's been really fun so far. I now that I believe fixed my internet issues, and this is like part of the reason that we're streaming today is to test that things are looking good, and they are looking good. Part of the reason we're streaming today is to test, but now that I've fixed my internet issues, I'm going to be able to, you know, form more of an opinion on everything. Ooh, post-combat Bloodbraid Elf, what the heck? They hit the General, that's pretty good. Although, let's see. That was a good top deck. They're not dead, but they have to block with both No, sorry, this doesn't have Death Touch. It's like pseudo Death Touch. Yeah, maybe I spoke. Yeah, it was the ISP's fault. They just like, oh, I guess they didn't read all the words on this card. Yeah, it was the ISP's fault. They apparently what's happening is, even though I have my own line for my download speed, I'm sharing all the bandwidth for my upload speed with my unit, and they won't change that. Despite me paying for their highest tier, they won't change it. And whenever other people in my building switch to use upload speeds, it sometimes will just cut me out, and that's like that was what was happening. And the technician, the technician that came out kind of told me on the down low, you know, that's what was going on, and it's pretty lame. But fuck Spectrum, and I've got a 5G hotspot thing, and this should serve our needs. Oh, Bloodbraid couldn't block. I see. Of course. So Prismatic Ending pretty bad against their deck, although it's good against the Kavu. It's good against the Kavu. Too many streamers in Austin. I'm not in Austin. I've got a lot of Cascade. I think I like the Teferis. Probably want Fire Ice over Feast and Famine. Do I get 5G speeds? Yeah. And then I have the hotspot USB tethered to my PC, so it's a wired connection, not a wireless one, which is pretty nice too. Yeah, maybe we'll play the... How good is Esper Sentinel against them, actually? They've got a lot of non-creatures, or a lot of creatures. Let's play 2 Prismatic Endings, 2 Vindicates, 1 Subtlety, maybe? I'll play with the 3rd Sentinel. They're a Manamorphose deck, I guess. Yeah, it's been a long year of connectivity issues, and apparently this is why... and I didn't realize this until a technician told me on the down low, Spectrum just fucks you. And it's very frustrating because like one of my biggest hindrances in my streaming career has been Spectrum, and I spend so much on the internet, and their service has been so consistently terrible. But I think that we've got it fixed now, and I'm really optimistic for the future. There's no other option. I did talk to AT&T, who was the only other company who like even said that they would think about installing connection to my apartment. What they quoted me was I would have to get a business account and direct line wire to my apartment, and it would be $600 a month for 50 megabytes down, 50 megabytes up, which is like, which is one of the most unreal offers I've ever heard. And so it was that option. Continue to have like Spectrum's non-functioning service, but I think this hotspot has ended up being my best option, and I think it's going to end up working. No, it wasn't a joke. I mean, I was in the store at the time, and then the sales guy was like, you don't like, this is the only thing I can offer you, and it's not going to be something you want. Like, you know, the guy was like, the guy actually was a Magic player, had a Archangel Avacyn on his phone case, but he's like, you're not going to want to do this. I'm like, well, what's the deal? And told me the deal. How far do I live from society? I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, like one of the biggest metropolises or metroplexes in the country. I just like it's just the way the city works. AT&T has half the city, Spectrum has the other half, and because they have that split, it's not technically a monopoly, and Spectrum is just an incompetent and unreliable and terrible service, you know? And no one can make them provide better service. So frustrating. Have I thought about moving? Moving is also very difficult. Prices out here are getting much more expensive, but yes, like we've been trying to move. It's been difficult though. Of course, it's been a consideration. We're gonna play Teferi and Plus, of course. Turning off all their cascades seems nice here. They're Charlotte's Agent Bloodbraid Elf deck. It looks like they're playing the list I was playing yesterday. Maybe they made some changes. Get Starlink. Starlink doesn't work. I live in a city, so Starlink just isn't going to work. Yeah, I would love to move to the country if I can get good internet out there, but I would love to move to a more rural area, quieter area. Isn't there a city in the US where Google installed? I mean, there is, yeah, but I don't know what kind of financial situations you guys have, but just moving to a city is a very and it's a very time consuming endeavor. It's a very costly endeavor as well. So I would love to move, but it's just not currently something that's going to be like a very doable thing. I will try to make it happen at some point, but you know, it's just like, and also that's also like, especially with my main issue is these internet problems, right? That's the solution. Like move cities, which is super costly and time consuming, it also doesn't feel like a great solution, but you know, it is what it is. I'm moving to Den for grad school in spring. I'm playing IRL in the spring. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna play some IRL. I'm gonna go to the Hunter Burton in August. I went to one FNM recently, but at least like right now, my like commitments are kind of crazy with everything I'm doing with the channel Fireball and the regular stream. Just very, very busy right now, so I'm not sure how much paper Magic or whatever I'm going to be playing. Maybe I should just Dakkon minus. Yeah, I think Dakkon minus is pretty good. We get to keep the Dakkon around. Would love to draw land to also play Stoneforge. Hope your move went smoothly, Pokey. I did get the hotspot Stoneway. And it looks like it's going to be able to meet my needs pretty well. They had Mantis Rider. Yikes. It's pretty good. They also still have Sign of Draco in their hands. A land would be really, really nice. Or like a 1-mana Path to Exile. There's a land, so I think it's probably better to go Stoneforge Mystic, hold up a counterspell because we really need the Stoneforge to survive, I think. We could also you know, Vindicate here. Maybe that's better. All right, I think I'll just Vindicate the writer. YC, thank you for your subscription. Appreciate you, buddy. But again, just to summarize, it looks like things are going to be pretty smooth for at least the foreseeable future. I think we've got a fix to our issue. It was unbelievably frustrating to have like the most important like 3 days of my streaming career be completely like almost non-functional because of just you know, Spectrum's complete incompetence and lack of service. But we made it through. We're on the other side. And I'm really, really excited to get into this and stop spending all my time and energy, you know, technical supporting and troubleshooting, and spending my time and energy making decks, doing what I love. Hey Zach, how you doing? Happy early birthday, Zach, right? It's coming up. Think Sun Draco deck is crazy. Any tips on stopping it? Deck's like really, really soft to Blood Moon, as I found yesterday. Also is not that great against combo, I feel.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Happy early birthday, buddy. Oh, hexproof from monocolored, right. Right. Let's just attack first. Oh, I should have maybe saved my Vindicate for general. Probably not. Probably not super reasonable. Let's, I think, try to Jace, get some lands. Path to Exile, maybe. Land plus Counterspell. Land plus Stoneforge Mystic. Tried doing a Vindicate Sinkhole strategy, cut them off colors, but I can't find a deck still grindy enough with no card selection. Could just be a bad matchup. What deck are you playing? This deck? I know you like Esper Stoneblade. Hallowed Sentinel. Sentinel's felt pretty good so far. I haven't really drawn it all that much, but I've been liking it. So I think I'm gonna path the Mantis Rider. You know, Kaldra Compleat maybe is going to be able to beat the golems if we can equip Batterskull to the token. I don't know that they have an answer to that. A second spell this turn, like a Helix or something, would be pretty bad. Oh, I guess we get to draw a card. That's pretty bad. Maybe we can find Cryptic Command. We've got 2 Cryptics in the deck. Dakkon would also be a good draw here because we can actually minus Dakkon and put Kaldra Compleat into play. Could also steal a Golem with Charm if we need to. They can kill. Oh, they can't kill Jace. We can block here. I don't think they have attacks. We can maybe attack with the Germ token, then equip Batterskull over to Esper Sentinel. That could be pretty good. Oh, this attack is just like straight up terrible. Right? Like, why? This should just like throw away Bloodbraid Elf for 4 life and 2 loyalty on Jace. I think that attack's bad at least. I could be wrong. Okay, so we can't cast Kaldra Compleat, but we can Vindicate the General, get it off the field, and then Prismatic Ending the Kavu. Or is it better to go Archmage, Charm, Steal, Golem, just hold up Charm? We also drew the Cryptic, I guess. Also drew the Cryptic. Oh man, these are a million options here. No Euthanize because of the changing meta, but also this deck can't cast it on turn 1 and support Counterspell and Archmage's Charm. In the Kavu, hold up Cryptic. I feel like killing the general is more of a priority. Like, I would maybe I just want to go. I think I just want to go Vindicate General, Prismatic in Kavu, play Seachrome Coast tapped. And then the following turn, am I going to be more likely to want to go Charm plus Cryptic Command, or just cast Kaldra Compleat? I think I'd be more likely to want to go Charm plus Cryptic Command, so let me go like this. Go Vindicate, go. Then we pass, and if they want to kill Jace, they have to send everything at Jace. And then we can, oh, well, we can maybe, we'll just see what happens. But if they send both Golems at Jace, I think I'll sacrifice the Sentinel here. Although maybe not. If we sacrifice the Sentinel, it means we do, oh, First Strike changes things. It means we both would be a chump block here. Right. I mean, I'll just eat the Shardless Agent, let Jace die. So we're drawing Archmage's Charm now. Probably just best to move the equipment over here. They also forgot about their companion. Don't blame them. So far, what's the deck to beat in Modern? It is too early to tell. There's not a deck to beat. There's not one. But there's a lot of decks that look promising, like the Mugak deck that's playing Asmund Zinda Monokar and Cookbook, and the Feasting Troll King. That deck looks really good. The Shardless Agent decks, both the Footfalls and Living End variants, both look good to me. I like this deck. I think this deck's pretty good. A lot of good decks out there at the moment. So now if they've cast a non-creature, they have to, pay 5 for me to not draw a card. So here I'm going to attack. If they double block with the Golems, I'll steal a Golem with Charm, of course. Asma in the Minizinacar, I believe is the pronunciation. I don't have a list. If you look up Doomwake on Twitch or Twitter, he's got like a pretty good list. He also, I think he put a YouTube video out with it too. You could search Doomwake on YouTube. But he's been working on the deck. But I don't think that he brewed it. I don't know who like first came up with the Feasting Troll King cow tech, but it's like really good tech. Doomwake just 5-0'd with it. Awesome. Yeah, and he's been working on it. Yeah. But I watched a little bit of a different version with like Cat Oven, Emery. That deck looked cool too. Oh, they can pay the 5. That's funny. Is it better to draw a card or bounce a Scion? Probably better to draw a card. I guess they didn't forget about their companion. Pay the 5 for Esper Sentinel. Easy. Another Jace is nice. Yeah, if they attack with everything, we can just cast Kaldra and kill them. Assuming that, nothing about the board changes, right? They're going to pay the 5 again? I think they're dead, right? They know I have Kaldra in my hand, I think. And Esper Sentinel does nothing. Is Kaldra Chimio? Yeah, I think Kaldra's good. I'm liking it so far. I'm liking it. So it looks like we're going to advance to 3-1 here. Yeah, I definitely can feel... Kaldra Compleat feels like a very Zach Elsick card. I don't know. I'm like a lot lower on Voidwalker than most people, I think. I think it's a fine card, but just not necessarily where I'm wanting to start with a lot of deck ideas, I guess. Let's keep this. We can either put back Cryptic, Path to Exile, or Force, I think. I don't think I want to put back the second Sentinel. Hey, Fran, how you doing today? Let's put back the Path. I think this. So the idea of the subtleties in the sideboard is that they're at least good against Titan and Tron, which I haven't really been playing against. But I don't know. I don't think subtleties are great. I think they're okay. Feast and Famine, Great Sword of Fire Ice main book looks odd. Feast and Famine is better than Fire and Ice if you play Counterspells, and Fire Ice is better than Feast and Famine if you don't. If you play Counterspells, you want to be able to equip the Feast and Famine to a creature, hit your opponent, and then untap with Counter Magic up. But if you're not playing Counterspells, I think Fire Ice in the main is usually going to be the better sword. Deputy of the Attention to Sideboard for Rhinos. I would probably rather play something else. I don't know exactly what. Like maybe there's the 2-mana counter spell that when you counter the spell, you search your library for that card, the instant or sorcery, and then it exiles all the copies. That card seems very good against both Rhinos and Living End. Yeah, you can also play EE. That card's good against them too. And then like both Rhinos and Living End are popular, so maybe I will play that card in some sideboards. Test of Talents. Maybe I'll play it in my sideboard, and maybe we'll just try it out in this deck. Next league. Although I might not stream it. I'll stream at least 2 leagues, and then I don't absolutely need to record for Channel Fireball today, but I was kind of wanting to. But I can maybe like just record my video later this week. I love to see this. This was just kind of nuts for us, right? And they missed their second land drop. Beautiful. Is my opponent just going to concede to second Esper Sentinel? Would not blame them. It's probably just Prismatic Ending this. Esper Sentinel probably very good against Storm, huh? I've been liking Ending too. Can't remember. I think I'm on 3 main deck Ending, 3 main deck Path. Is that where I settled, or is it like 3 Ending, 2 Path? Yeah, it looks like 3 Ending, 2 main deck Path. The other 2 on the side. I think that would make sense to me because Ending is just live against a lot of decks that Path isn't, like Tron, Titan. Like just exiling Expedition map is super exciting to me. Exile's Aether Vial too. It's a big one. Sick. Third Sentinel has to be a war crime. Maybe. That's why I'm not going to play it. What do you think of Ending versus Portable Hole? I think that I'll probably be a bit more inclined to play Portable Hole over Sentinel, but like there is some merit to the fact that Ending exiles Hole, and you know, without leaving the hole in play. That Ending was like going to be a Circus reroll with spell set. Yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm really liking it. Although like there are some matchups where it seems like it's maybe going to be a bit awkward, like against the Scion of Draco deck. Although it's got hits there. Obviously there are cards that misses really hard. Yeah, 3 mana opts, fair rate. Got deck tech for over 9,000 tabs. Yeah, Portable Hole plus, like, I was actually working on a blue-white Urza deck that I might just shelf until Portable Hole enters the format. So it seems so good there. So, silence is not good unless you're like doing something to like recur the silences over and over again. If you're just casting silence in your control deck, you're not really getting anywhere. I know if you have Teferi Time Raveler in play, silence is like a bit better, but I don't think that a deck like this can really succeed. And I wouldn't anticipate it succeeding. Canister, thank you for your raid, dude. Hope you're having a good day today. Working on some Esper Stoneblade. Liking the deck a lot. Yeah, like you need to play like Isochron Scepter to go with your silences for it to be good. Copy them over and over again. And even that's like pretty fragile and disruptible, but that's what you need, in my opinion. Should I counter a copy of Empty? Probably worth it to counter a copy. Lucky enough to play against Storm with a bunch of Esper Sentinels here. Love to see all the faithless lootings in the chat always. You would just send the Pioneer list? Oh, I gotcha. I mean, you can just send the Pioneer list. It's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to send me more points. I kind of like just going Watery Grave, third Sentinel, sort of Feast and Famine, with double Force up. I don't think we need to hold up the Cryptic here, especially because with triple Sentinel, we're pretty likely to draw some cards for the Forces. Kind of lucky our opponent didn't have Grape Shot, I guess, for the Sentinels last turn. Wait, hold on. How is this like their line? Ritual into Empty the Warrens too. Like, how is that what they ended up deciding was the best line? And then now they have to pay, 3 mana for this Sentinel trigger. Because it's power, not 1. Or not just 1. Sim to Bleeding, yeah, I guess. Trying to figure out what their hand looks like, and I just can't see it. This has got to be so miserable for them. So they're just not going to pay the 3, but then they can pay the 1 twice. 5 mana Visions. Opponent still draws a card. Yikes. Pretty good for us, huh? I mean, I think that you have like the exact same issues here in Pioneer. That Silence is just really brutal card disadvantage. Or not, maybe really brutal is an exaggeration, but it's just card disadvantage, and you don't seem to have a good way to take advantage of that card disadvantage, right? Mastermind, thank you for your raid, buddy. Hope you're having a good day. Have I tried to lead Spellbinder? I have. I think the card's okay. But when it was first printed, like there was like a ton of lava darts. I feel like the lava darts have decreased a bit because people are trying new things, but I expect them to come back. You made Fran play it. You're a bad person. Yeah, I just don't think that a deck like that can be successful. I don't think I have any more notes for it than that. Alright, opponent's just gonna let me draw the 3. Remember, these only trigger once a turn. I'll stop them there. Historic Red's good. Yeah, that makes more sense. Maybe if you have like some draw 2s in the deck, like you could play what's the card? Dictative Crewfix, then Howling Mind that could make the silences better. Alright, so playing against Storm. Bring in the Teferis. I'll cut the Batterskull for sort of Fire Ice. Prismatic Ending is interesting. Okay, I think we'll play 2 Ending, 2 Path. No Vindicates. Typhoon over Jace the Mind Sculptor, where it's hard to tap out for Jace. Path is okay, but it does turn off our Snapcasters. Although I guess we probably don't want the Dakkons. We can maybe play 2 Paths here. Or 2 Rest in Peace. I'll gift a sub if you bring in Vindicate. I cannot be bought. I don't think Vindicate is good against them. Got deck tech for Drew. Did you redeem channel points? I missed it, Drew. Because usually I do these for the deck tech channel point option or for $5. Okay, enable gifting a sub. That was just someone wanted it. Oh, I gotcha. Gifted sub to A-Rock. A-Rock, you rock. Let's keep this. Just hard to like mulligan turn 1 Sentinel, I think. Yeah, I also had like a long queue time for my first league match, but for whatever reason, like the first queue time was really long, and the other ones weren't, and I have no idea why that would be the case. So yeah, no idea why that's the case. I think it's probably good to lead on the Rest in Peace here. And then I'm gonna go turn and then try to like play and equip Sword of Feast and Famine on turn 3. Hey Titan. I actually have no black cards in the deck at the moment, so I guess I'm not going to be getting Watery Grave. I sided out my Dakkons and my Vindicates. Again, the black splash in this list is pretty light. Sentinel is obviously insane in matchups like this. Galvanic Relay. I mean, they've spent 3 cards to draw 3 for next turn. Serum Vision, Solemnity Vision, Shivan Reef. I feel like this card is not that good, but I could be wrong. It's kind of close if we should play the Rest in Peace or not. With them exiling Visions, Solemnity Visions, Shivan Reef, I really think that they're quite unlikely to go off this turn with that hand. And even if they are able to, we have the ability to draw a blue card off the Esper Sentinel for a force. So I think I'm supposed to do this. Yeah, Dakkon's been really good. I've really liked Dakkon in this deck. I think you could maybe play 3 over like the second Jace. Ooh, drew a force. Hopefully they just cast Vision and passed. What's the Mage 2 supply like? Are the bots fully stocked? You can get the cards, but they're all very expensive at the moment. And then rental services are also struggling to provide to demand, which is very understandable. I would say that this matchup is probably very, very good, huh? I got a Grape Shot. Let me just double check. We do have Prismatic End, which could maybe be X equals 3. But yeah, I cited out the black cards, so just get the Fountain. This is very much a blue-white Stoneblade deck that's splashing black. Whereas like the other day, I was main decking Fatal Push. We needed black early. I think the mana is going to be smoother in this build. What's my favorite card in Mage 2 other than Counterspell? I'm really excited about Recruiter. Recruiter is a super exciting card. I mean, there's just so many. There's just so many. Really excited to Ephemerate a Solitude. That's super exciting. My favorite card, as like far as flavor goes, is probably the 1 mana make an 0/3 crab investigate. I like that card a lot, just kind of flavor wise. My Kaldra. Do I think the tapped artifact lands can bring Urza back? I'm working on some Urza decks, but I think that Urza's Saga and potentially Yavimaya Coast to help Gingerbread Cabin get some more to help Gingerbread Cabin get have all forests for Gingerbread Cabin to make a food token that's fetchable. I think that might be more relevant than the artifact lands. Is Kaldra extra better than Batterskull? I mean, neither are better than the other. They're good in different matchups. But they're both tutor targets, so you tutor up Kaldra if you want to be aggressive, and you tutor up Batterskull if you want to be defensive. And it is good. It is good. And that's a great draw. That matchup seemed absurdly good for us. I am kind of interested in trying out Test of Talents in the sideboard. Opened up a Smothering Tide that's worth a lot in paper, not much.